Okay, so just to clarify, it is August 7th, 2017. It is not the 8th, it is the 7th. So now that the zucchini relish is done, I'm converting that video. I'm doing by priority, and the priority right now is look after the plants. I have to, people. My younger daughter and her boyfriend are coming later in about an hour or so, 2 or whatever, and they'll help me move that wood from the back there into the side of the house. And she'll help me with a few other things. But in the meantime, I'm going to wash these, right, because they've been outside. You'll see the difference after I give them a quick scrub, a little bit of soap. And I'm going to get them ready to deal with these climbing plants of mine. Just want to show you my raspberry wounds. Ugh. What I do for my grandson. I got a nasty one back here, because I wasn't wearing my boots. You can see. Oh, it hurts. But I have to change my shoes and put on my work boots when I'm out here. Alright. So anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so the purpose of washing these things, people, is so that you don't bring in fungi and disease and that type of stuff to your plants as you're starting to use them. And if they've been outside like these ones have for a year or two or whatever it is, right? And this is the stuff that the city is targeting, by the way, in terms of they classify it as junk, because it was off to the side, didn't need it over the winter, and now that I need it, people, just took a little soap and water to wipe it down so I can start using it. Now, I have these beautiful branches over here that at some point I am going to clean off, and make sturdier ones. Because after this year, I don't know how many of those are just little bamboo things from the dollar store. So, you can see. Alright? So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be able to have some sturdier ones, and whatever survives will go for next year. So in the meantime, I'm going to use these for, stringing up these plants. And while I'm in here, people, I'm going to take out the things that are sucking up the nutrients from the ground, because I haven't been in here, right? Why should the nutrients of the dirt go into the weed versus the plant? All right? So I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. Hold on. And yes, these poor things still sitting in a pot. If they would have went into a bigger pot into the greenhouse, they'd be as big as the other ones. And since they're not, they're sitting in here. They're not doing anything. There's purslane. Can you see? I'm pretty sure that's a purslane. It has a cousin that's poisonous. So you got to watch for that. It's got little white, if it got little white hairs on it, and when you break off the stem and it comes out white, milky white, then that's the poisonous kind. But this one, there's nothing coming out. So this is edible, people. You can actually eat that in salads and stir fries. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, put them on the curbside there with my little metal shelf that I don't want, that it's not suitable, and with a sign saying take home a tomato plant for the smell. And maybe somebody will take 1 or 2 home, put them in a pot, and let them grow. I'm going to actually put a couple in a pot and bring them in the house and see what happens to them, right? Hold on. And, you know, the way the city treats me, and, you know, people in general, professional people like Fraser Health Authority and the bank and that type of thing, they treat me like I'm an idiot, people. They treat me like I have absolutely no knowledge of anything, right? And that I am not a responsible person, and that I'm a pig, right? And I don't deserve to be acknowledged, and neither does my family. That's how they treat me. And they even treated me like that with the nonprofit. Go home, you know, city council, go home, write MLA or whatever, go home, write some more, you know, brainstorm, dot your I's, cross your T's, and then bring it back to us. You know, come meet with this counselor. You know, I've met with city councilors discussing fundraisers and that type of thing for the homeless shelter and whatnot, right? And it's just all rhetoric, people. Like, seriously, they treat you like you're in grade 2, at less than grade 2. Like, if you're just coming in kindergarten, and that you absolutely have no common sense and you deserve to be mistreated and abused and everything else. Like, what's going on? So anyway, here's some rope that I need, and as you can see, I found myself a nice clip for that door after we figure out how to get it to open correctly. And, you know, I have lived in many houses, people, and I have done many things over the years. And spring cleanup is one of them. I was a dust bucket the other day because the dryer chute is over there, right? So I cleared everything out, pulled it all out. This was full of dust in here, right? That's why I get tired, people, because I'm right up in here underneath the trenches, you know, taking a broom and dusting off the dust, and the spiders are crawling on me, and God knows what else is crawling on me, right? I still have to do a little bit on this side, but, you know, like I said, I don't appreciate being treated like a fucking idiot, right? You know, there was absolutely no storage when I moved into this house. Absolutely none. If the storage would have been built correctly the first time, my life would have been a whole lot different. I'm telling you, the story would have been a whole lot fucking different in terms of leaky porches, leaky sheds, you know, that type of thing. Anyway, we got another tomato plant. Forgot to show you that one. Over there. Okay, people. My computer is making... because it's old, right? As things are breaking, people, what I'm finding is I can't fix them. Like I said, my back burner on my stove doesn't work, right? Car hasn't worked. Well, window hasn't been replaced. You know, no money for a tune-up, right? No money for a minor repair if I need it. Just whatever. It doesn't matter what it is, right? If my stuff gets lost or stolen or ruined, I don't get to replace it because it's just, I'm carrying the debt load from Joan when Joan was living in this house because, again, got the house because of Joan. Joan needed to have her own little suite with her own little nursing crew to keep an eye on her, right? To help her, you know, get her through her last years of life so that she didn't get stuffed away like some dirty secret in some old folks home and forgotten about, right? And, you know, just 23 years and plus looking after Uncle John and, you know, being mom and dad and just everything, right? You know, just whatever. That's what Uncle John admired about me, you know. If we wanted a garden, I planted a garden. You know, if we wanted a fort, I made sure the fort got made. Now, that's not to say that I did absolutely everything by myself, because I didn't. Because back in those days when he was a little younger, he could help move things around or whatever. You know, he couldn't necessarily carry it and go do, like, depending on what it was, but... And the problem with him is you'd say go left and he'd go right. You'd say stop and he'd go forward. So I learned to live with that over the years, right? You know, I'd say stop and he'd be pushing. And I'd be like, John, you're squishing me into the wall with the dresser, right? You know, like, stop, right? John, don't go left, go right. I said right. But other than that, like, you know. So anyway, but yeah, if this computer breaks, people... You know, my hater crowd will be happy because I won't be able to replace it. Seriously, like, I have no alternative computers to go online, right? And no means to fix this one and no means to replace it. And it's rattling in there, so, you know, it needs to be reformatted. I haven't had, I'm sure it's been hacked into by this, you know, this network of trolls and whatever, but, you know, I mean, what are they going to find? They're going to find my notice of claim to Fraser Health Authority on a little floppy disk as I'm uploading the next video. They're going to find my notice of claim, my 109 pages to CIBC Bank of, you know, Canada, right, with my other videos being uploaded as I do my daily video blogs at this point, because my life is stressed out. I'm having panic attacks for propping up the tomato plants, taking out the weeds, getting ready to put some more dirt in there and give them just a little bit of nutrients for the last stage of growing, right? You know, and I'm feeling guilty as shit because I've got the city showing up in 7 days with the whip on the back, right, crying on about something, people. Toys, wood for building, you know, whatever. Treating me like I'm a criminal, treating me like I'm dumb, treating me like I'm a nobody and that I deserve to have nothing in my life and that I'm just a piece of trash and a wench. My neighbor, I was out there picking freaking blackberries last night, right? Just, you know, for Andre likes doing that, and, you know, why not? I can use another 6, 7, 8 more jars of jam. I'm sure my kids would appreciate that at some point over the winter because I know they like it. And she goes, how you feeling? How you doing? And I'm like, I'm not doing well. I'm a wench. I accept it, people. I'm a fucking wench. You know, I'm a piece of trash. Does it make you feel good that I can say that? Does it make the city feel powerful and strong that they're sucking the life out of me over ambiguous insinuations and looking for more? Like, what is wrong with these people? You think, these guys that are doing this, like, I wouldn't be surprised somehow, somewhere down the fucking garden path, they're not connected to the Duncan clan. Like I said, Christy Clark's premier, past premier, Christy Clark's secretary, what was, or perhaps still is in office, who freaking knows, was the secretary to the premier who happened to be a niece to John. Why is it that only some criminal activity gets dealt with and other criminal activity doesn't? Like the disappearance of human beings. Where they lose their fucking brains. And they can't remember anything anymore because they got so traumatized in that process. Well, the family that they lived with for years and 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 years with and built a home with and nurtured children got trashed. And are still being trashed. Still being trashed, people. Still being trashed. So I accept it. I'm a wench. Okay, people. So now today is July 8th. It's getting kind of late in the day, though. Oh, I love the feel of this room. It is so nice, people. I'm telling you. Jerry did a really good job. A really good job. So what we're thinking here, in terms of the crew right now, is I want another shelf going across this way. 2.5 feet, 3 feet up this way. And that just gives me a little extra shelving for Andre's trucks and this kind of thing, right? Easy to put up and bring them out as I want them. So as you can see, we're putting on sides, right? Still having a problem with the door. We haven't figured that out. So some of this miscellaneous wood is going. You can see we brought it down just to that. I mean, there's still things that need to be done, obviously, right? I want to put a board. I don't know. I'm probably going to end up covering all that blue stuff at some point in the future, right? In this case, you just want straight sheets of plywood just to go over what you got, right? Versus, mix matching, and you don't want this kind of stuff. I had my youngest daughter yesterday screaming at me, at the top of her lungs, out here, telling me to toss this stuff back next door. That these people are just giving me stuff to get rid of their, because whatever, right? And I'm like, no, Tisha, like, you don't understand, like, how expensive this kind of wood is, right? You just don't have a clue. Like, seriously. And this is really good gutter material. Like 3 of them in here. And then there's this stuff. And I told her, I said, you're not a man. You don't know what it's like to come in and start having to build something. Oh, there's my hammer. And, what do you call it? Need the materials. So this is for when men come on the property and build things, right? For me, as we go along. Because at some point, some of this stuff is good for rainwater collection. And I do have those drums, right? And here's a few more sheets of plywood or whatever it is that I will be moving today. So anyway, that's where we're at. Right? I'm going to the side of the house. That's where I'm spending my time so that we can move that stuff and any other miscellaneous wood that we're not using. I'm probably going to add these on temporarily for the side, but like I said, at some point, I think just a sheet of plywood over top of that bottom part and up would be good. And yeah, people, I pulled up an old video there because I'm trying to promote the nonprofit in the United States, right? And, it's hard to explain, right? Because it's just, it is what it is. And on that video, I had mentioned that this was in May of like May 12, 2017, so not just a couple months ago, right? I mentioned how I had went to Home Depot and I bought material for building, like the wood for the shed. I told you, right? Look, I'm trying to give that away and nobody wants it. I don't know if I want it. Anyway, I have to come out here and... Okay, this is from the side of the house, from the back, that we're gonna move to the side of the house. So that's what I'm working on today. I'm gonna rearrange it, organize it, because I still use it. I use it whether for borders, for boxes, like planter boxes like that. You can see, look how pretty that is. So pretty. And those tomato plants are just getting huge back there. Yeah, tidy up in here a little bit today. Hold on.